Welcome, dear friends, for this first part of a three-part introduction for us to Meditation 5. We'll be practicing Meditation 5 as we await the coming 2025 Conclave, preparing to become receptive to impression. The majority of the excerpts are taken from Discipleship in the New Age, Volume 2.
An introduction to our meditative service in 2025, Part 1, December 29th, recapping our progression. Part 2, December 30th, the new moon in Capricorn, Meditation 5. Setting out the next steps, Part 3, December 31st. The 7 meditations given to us by Master D.K. in Discipleship in the New Age, Volume 2, make a perfect synthesis of recognitions, of unfoldment, and of spiritual direction. If they are followed with care, they will eliminate selfishness and build in ashramic quality.
Meditations 1 and 2 were introduced as a review in relation to our group service as part of Sagittarius opening to the energies, November of 2023. Meditation 3 is part of the approach at the full moon, regularly practiced by many as a group approach, and incorporating the Antakarana in this approach. Many of us with Michael Robbins. Using the rowboat visualization is utilized in other groups. Meditation 4, introduced in practice as part of the Essential Relations series, 2023 and 2024. Now in 2025, we will incorporate Meditation 5 in the first 3 months of the calendar year, January, February, and March, in preparation for the festivals and the 2025 Conclave, integrating the meditation into the contemplative approach to ideas, illusions, and ideas that we had begun, the result of our impressions that are received along the way and progressing us all together forward along the path of initiation. Meditation 6, Spiritual Inflow, foundational to all of us, using the final stanza of the Great Invocation, what DK called the New Invocation, given in 1945. This is used, as we know, extensively as part of the practice of group meditation and daily vigils. DK says it is essentially a prayer synthesizing the highest desire, aspiration, and spiritual demand of the very soul of humanity itself. It must be used in that way. When the trained disciple or the aspirant in training uses it, he or she will assume the attitude of meditation, that is, an attitude of concentration, spiritual direction, and receptivity. Then he or she will pray. This stanza and the first two given in 1935 and 1940 are part of the daily vigil meditations organized in 2015 by the 2025 initiative and later added as a daily practice in 2024 by the Esoteric Healing Community of the Moria Federation. Master DK develops insight into, or provides us deep insight into, the Great Invocation in externalization of the hierarchy and in the reappearance of the Christ. Meditation 7, the Cross, we will begin to use in Taurus at the Wesak in 2025. Taurus, the first sign of the fixed cross. And repeating again, as DK says, in these 7 meditations, we have all we need in order to make progress in our own lives and also in group life. Functioning subjectively as present. And if we follow these meditations with care in the years to come, we will find that these meditations will lead to an extension of our service, which, as he says, for the majority of us, previously has not been of great importance, but it is ever more important as we enter in to the new age, the age of Aquarius.
Each of these meditations carries the practicing disciple on to greater insight, or should do so, if properly approached and correctly employed. One of the principal tasks of the combined hierarchy is the presentation to humanity of the basic divine ideas. In this manner, they mold human ideas and consequently in time create its current civilization, thus providing a field for its culture. The culture approximates the ideal closer than does its civilization.
Meditation 5. Precipitation. Reception. When I, Master Dwalkul, gave you the fifth meditation, I gave you also 12 words for consideration in meditation. They were intended to invoke your abstract mind, and their obvious meaning and significance was not intended to form a part of your thinking. As you later review these words, I would have you consider them as embodying the viewpoint of the spiritual triad, as part of the work assigned to you in leading humanity forward. These words have new and prophetic meanings, and you must discover for yourselves what they are. This you have not yet done, and in neither of these two ways have you truly meditated on the given words. It is essential that there be a reorganization of your meditation technique in these two directions. Your entire meditation work is too concrete. There are the 12 words which I give you. Please use one each month or one each week in your meditation work. As an aid to your concentration and receptivity, I give you 12 words, which will be the theme for 12 months' work, and which could, as you gain the power to meditate, relate, receive, and transmit, provide the seed thoughts for 12 years' work instead of 12 months, which we will attempt to accomplish in 12 weeks. Words are living things, possessing form, soul, and spirit or life. This you should ever bear in mind as you use them to open the door to a month's realization and inspiration, plus the consequent service. Here are 12 words. Use one each month in your daily meditation, or one each week. Recipient. Impression. Recognition. relationship, source, ashram, transmitter, expression, determination, seed, idea, attachment. These words in bold indicate some of the emphasis of our previous contemplative study and service. You will notice how the meditation now to be outlined has a natural sequence to the one which presumably you followed all last year. That was meditation 4.
Applying this approach to the science of relationship. 4. Relationship could be said to involve first, recipient, 7, transmitter, second, impression, resulting in 8, expression. Just as the human brain, made up of an infinite number of sentient responsive cells, the recipient can be suitably impressed, receive an impression when quiescence has been achieved, and can become the medium of expression for the plans and purposes of the soul, transmitting, received from the soul as transmitter, its ideas via the mind, so the planetary deity, working under the inspiration of the universal mind, signifying for us one of the principles of the new astrology, as above, so below, can impress humanity with the purposes of God and produce consequent effects in the world of phenomena. Words opening the door to realization and inspiration, to consequent service. At the end of each month, as we approach the Vesak, you might use one each week. Go through the ideas you have jotted down in your daily work, and from them pick 3 which seem to carry the most inspiration, and which you judge could be a seed for useful distribution or transmission. At the close of the year, send in your 36 seed thoughts. As you will all have been using the same theme words, much help can be accorded to the entire group by each of you.
The objective before the group of world mystics and workers, and the ideal set before the individual aspirant, are the same as in the individual meditation. The achieving of that focused attention and mental quiet wherein reality can be contacted. The true and the beautiful can be registered. Divine purpose can be recorded. and it becomes possible to transmit to the phenomenal form upon the physical plane the needed energy whereby the subjective realization can be materialized. As we have noted before in our contemplative service, the aspirant does this in connection with his own soul purpose if he is successful in his endeavor. The disciple is learning to do this in relation to group purpose, and the initiate cooperates with the planetary purpose.
You will find this work most interesting. It is, in a way, a tiny reflection of the technique of the hierarchy and the way the masters work, though on a much higher turn of the spiral, in times of crisis, or when there is need for all the groups or ashrams, as there is today, to unite in some endeavor necessitated by the need of humanity or by some planetary emergency. The masters, starting their work on one of the planes of the spiritual triad instead of the mental plane as do their disciples, concentrate on the theme under their consideration during the period of 3 full moons.
The true ashram, of which the coming outer ashrams will be but reflections, is not for lower concrete mind discussion. It is a focal point of receptivity. It embraces the effort to establish mutual contact through a united recognition of the vision of the esoteric basis of life and the laws governing action. It is not a place, however, for long and silent meditation processes, for it is a point of tension where the true ashram together discuss the ageless wisdom in its more esoteric aspects, recognize the nature of soul relationship, and where the fusion of auras and the interblending of the triangles goes forward consciously. An ashram is the state of mind of a spiritual group. It is a point of united thought. It is a center for the clarification of the vision and not of physical plane methods of work.
They then meet in conclave and each make his contribution to the joint problem, as also does the Christ, and at critical times members of the council chamber of Sanat Kumara. On the basis of the proposals, and after due analysis and discussion, the united decision is transmitted by impression to the initiates and disciples in the ashrams, and from them to the world. If you study the above statement, you will see the importance of the meditation, which I have outlined. It is to prepare you for closer work along correct hierarchical lines in the ashram and with the master.
In the process of integrating the practice of meditation 4, we might follow this technique with fixed determination. using your notes from day or week 9. We recognize our achieved alignment of brain, mind, and soul. We recognize the equipment that we have been given. Look at the notes from day 3 or week 3, recognition. We recognize the hierarchy, the source of love wisdom. The word for the 5th day, the 5th week, the source. And with notes from the 6th day or 6th week, the ashram of Sanat Kumara, the source of love wisdom. If you follow the process of reflection with meditation 5 over the 12 days of Christmas or a 12-day period, consider meditating on this progression and receive impressions in terms of the 3 gifts that are received on the Feast of the Epiphany. Or you might do this prior to the full moon, the 12 days prior to, and consider the gifts, the impressions, the thoughts that you've received through the days of distribution of the Capricorn full moon. Remember what Master DK tells us. These words are. Regarding meditation 3 at the time of the full moon as practiced with Michael Robbins, Master DK describes for us the intention and use. He says, I would like today to extend the teaching given in the preceding instruction and at the Antakarana and expound to you from the group angle a paragraph that was given there. He says, I will rephrase it. And this is the way he rephrased it. The Antakarana is a reflection, a conscious, focused attitude carried forward in all life circumstances. The Antakarana is a reflection, a conscious, focused attitude carried forward in all life circumstances, which automatically registers the events conditioning the life of humanity. It therefore creates a stream of ascending energy from humanity, which is tinctured by the life quality and the ray characteristics of the group personnel. We each are part, creating the Antakarana, this stream of ascending energy. Along this stream, both the ascending and the descending life quality and ray characteristics can pass at will, and the disciple will increasingly register the things of the Spirit. The disciple will consequently acquire the facility to penetrate into the world of the hierarchy and reach eventually the door to the way of the higher evolution. The disciple will again consequently function efficiently in the 3 worlds as the serving disciple.
Into the light we move, beckoned thereto by thee. Out of the dark we come, driven thereto by the soul of all. Up from the earth we spring, and into the ocean of light we plunge. Together we come. Together we move, guided and led by the soul we serve, and by thee, the Master we know. The Master within and the Master without are one. That one are we. That one is all. My soul, thy soul, the Master, and the soul of all.
We close this part 1 of this series as we enter into the energies of 2025 on this note, the note of the Antakarana, the ocean of light into which we plunge. Part 2 will lead us through the meditation itself. Thank you for your service.